What I'm saying is they already called him a weight bully. He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury.
I see it. So you can't say that he's not a Hall of Fame if he's beat world champions, you know.
And all this. When it comes to being great, it's not about just becoming undisputed. It's how you become.
Terence Crawford dismissed Errol Spence's talk of a rematch and openly questioned whether Spence has done enough to be considered a Hall of Famer, pointing out that Spence competed his entire career at 147 pounds, while he himself made history by becoming an undisputed champion in multiple weight divisions, making it clear that, in his view, success in just one division is not enough to build a lasting legacy.
He fought in one division. He had a WBC, WBA.
He wasn't undisputed.
No, he wasn't. No, what I'm saying is they already called him a weight bully. He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. He beat Sean Porter.
In all fairness, he had to go over there to get that.
You know what I mean? That's a good win. I'm still a fan. I hope he do well. But like once it got to the point where I moved up in weight and I'm in the same weight as Spence, it's just like, oh man, you ain't fighting nobody. You this, you that, you this, you that. So now they trying to blemish my accomplishment just to boost him up. I'm like, dude, you're not gonna do that because I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't. Everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on him. I honestly don't know if he make it to the Hall of Fame with the accolades that he did.
Errol Spence has publicly called out Terence Crawford for a rematch, saying he is still eager for another chance and fully believes the fight can happen, stressing that despite losing the first bout, he remains confident he can make the necessary adjustments and show a very different performance if they meet again in the ring.
Would rematch Errol Spence, or is he in a position where he needs to win again before that makes sense for you?
The possibility is there.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting for Door, for his title. I'm fighting for a title, and there's the possibility. He win his fight, God willing. I win my fight, God willing. And there's your possibility right there.
Terence Crawford quickly ended Errol Spence's hopes for an immediate rematch with a blunt response on Twitter, telling him he would have to wait his turn, making it clear that his attention is on other opponents right now and that Spence will need to be patient before getting another chance.
Is a Errol Spence rematch on the table still, or?
Nah.
All right, we're gonna wrap that. I'm trying to tell you.
Terence Crawford's recent remarks about Errol Spence Jr. have sparked widespread debate in the boxing world, with fans and analysts split on whether it's right for a fighter of Crawford's status to criticize another champion, as some see trash talk as part of the sport while others feel it crosses a line, prompting Stephen Hops to defend Spence by saying it's unfair to downplay his achievements since Spence has faced top-level opponents, including a hard-fought bout with Sean Porter, holds a strong record as a unified champion, and has consistently proven his skill against elite competition, making any dismissal of his accomplishments both inaccurate and disrespectful.
You know, he beat Sean Porter, he beat Lamont Peterson,
Danny
Garcia. So you can't say that he's not a Hall of Fame if he's beat world champions, you know, and beat them like in a different way. So I don't agree with that answer right there that he said. I think he a Hall of Fame. I feel like anybody who make it to that big stage and beat them big name champions is a Hall of Fame. He did something that nobody else done. So, you know.
Like technically, he's a three-time champ because he won 3 belts.
Yeah. He was unified. Wasn't he unified?
Yeah, he was unified. It was just one. He was one away.
So you can't say a person is not a Hall of Famer if he's unified. Once you unified, you made them. I feel like once you become a world champion, you made them history books.
Yeah, once you become a world champion, you make the history books, of course. But I think
unified is Hall of Fame.
You think so?
Yeah.
Guaranteed?
Yeah, because you got all the belts.
Since beating Errol Spence, Terence Crawford has received heavy praise for his skill and control in the ring, but his recent comments have left many fans disappointed, with critics saying a fighter of his level should show more respect to opponents like Spence, who has built a strong legacy, a feeling echoed by Ray Jackson, who shared his frustration publicly. While some also recall Crawford's earlier remarks about U.S. boxing fans in January, making the backlash even stronger as many are now criticizing him for being disrespectful, leaving the boxing community shocked by his tweet.
Fame. He couldn't.
Not think Spence will be in the Hall of Fame?
Right now? No, how?
Then, Bud, what you do? Because, Bud, Errol is your one, and you just shitted on him. I remember you dissing me on X because you want and deserve respect. And all of us are here to give it to you. But when you go shitting on another fantastic fighter who happens to be the marquee opponent on your resume, then brother, people are going to start flipping tables and they're going to start looking at you. Bottom line, Errol Spence is great and you whipped his ass. Sean Porter is great and you whipped that ass. And what you're daring to do to take on Canelo Alvarez is beyond great. Now it's great.
The situation highlights the disappointment many fans feel about Terence Crawford's behavior. As boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult pointed out that while Crawford fully earned respect for his dominant win over Errol Spence, his recent comments have made some people see him in a different light, explaining that fans first admired him for his outstanding performance in the ring, but are now rethinking their view because of remarks they feel crossed the line.
Crawford, his accomplishments aren't great enough. You have people jumping in my comments talking about two-time undisputed and all this shit. When it comes to being great, it's not about just becoming undisputed. It's how you become undisputed, how you become champion, who you face. Because hell, Devin Haney fought Kambosos to become undisputed in one swoop. What? That makes him as great as Ali? Hell no. So if you say that Errol Spence isn't a Hall of Famer, bud, we start looking at your ops. Let's talk about Spence. He got the belts and unified, but who did he take the belts from and what did he try to do with you? Spence's road that you're
Terence Crawford recently spoke about the rematch clause in his contract with Errol Spence, confirming that a second fight is possible even though he has not made a final decision yet, as fans continue to wonder whether Spence will get the chance to redeem himself after how dominant Crawford was in their first meeting, with a rematch offering Spence the opportunity to make adjustments and try to return stronger.
It's in the contract, so it's not if I'm open to it or not. It's, what's in the contract. And Errol gave me an opportunity and a shot at becoming the first male boxer undisputed, in any division in a 4-belt era. And I honor, that. And if he was to come to me or activate his rematch, then...
Boxing legend Shane Mosley shared his view on a potential rematch, saying he believes Terence Crawford would win again no matter how much Errol Spence improves, and suggested that Spence might be better off avoiding another fight with Crawford and instead focusing on rebuilding his career moving forward.
That's that Crawford wins. His movement, everything he wins. It doesn't matter if Spence was not strong or strong. He had more of the stuff to win that fight. And Crawford is a game player. He's gonna come. He come to win. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I still say Crawford anyway, but I feel bad that we didn't see the true Spence fight Crawford. If that makes any sense. I just think that Crawford has more rhythm, more movement, more stuff, and not just having more movement, more stuff. He has the power and everything just to be one of those great fighters. He has everything. And if you have Spence is not one-dimensional, but he's in that fight he was really one-dimensional, really stiff, and if they looked like they had really a lot of problems trying to get down to his weight, didn't have enough time to work on stuff they need to work on to, attack Crawford or to do anything to Crawford. And then when they got in the ring, he was so weak. Crawford dropping him with right jabs. We're like, dang.
Terence Crawford's trainer Brian "Bomac" McIntyre agreed with those views, saying a rematch would likely end the same way and stressing that Crawford's dominant showing in the first fight was no accident or one-time performance.
Rematch clause?
I don't know if it's gonna be at 54 or 47, but I'm sure he probably gonna push the weight up. But there's no gonna be no change in the decision. The performance still is gonna be the same. Might be even a little bit better. So he might want to watch out before he.
Despite his defeat, Errol Spence has made it clear he still wants another fight with Terence Crawford, arguing that if Crawford is willing to face someone like Canelo Alvarez, then he should also be open to a rematch, while maintaining confidence that with the right adjustments he can put on a much stronger performance next time.
If Crawford want to challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great, so, I'm with it. So, I'll be going for Bud, if he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna win or lose, but I definitely be going for Crawford. I think if anybody can pull it off, he can pull it off.
Yeah.
He's chasing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and that, and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So I mean, if he can do it, and he started at 147. So I mean, if he's doing it, why can't?
Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. has suggested two possible paths for Terence Crawford, either jumping straight into a rematch with Errol Spence or taking another fight first, with Jones leaning toward the second option as a smart way for Crawford to keep his momentum while leaving the door open for a rematch later.
This is kind of like the cherry on top, and after this, he should more or less retire on top.
Bud has two options. A, he can continue going up in weight, see how far he can go. I think he said already 54 is his max, so he could campaign that going to 54, maybe doing a rematch, or like I said, let Errol get himself back together first, when it makes more sense, then do a rematch. You understand me? So for me, to let Errol get himself together first, then do a rematch is much better. To fight him right now, it's not good because, like I said, just the weight gain.
Sports commentator Stephen A. Smith has also shared his take on the rematch, advising Terence Crawford to wait at least a year before facing Errol Spence again, arguing that an immediate second fight may not benefit Crawford and that giving it time could make the matchup more competitive and exciting.
Over the international digital airwaves of YouTube. Let me make a plea right now to Terence Crawford. I understand you just beat him. You beat him thoroughly. You're the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, the WBO, the WBA, the WBC, the IBF titles, but you hugged him after the fight for a reason. I am making a plea to Terence Crawford, even if you elect to give Errol Spence Jr. a rematch. Please do not do this for at least a year. Please don't do that. Y'all are cool with one another. I'm begging you, my brother. I'm begging you. Because I know you got love, and I'm begging Errol Spence Jr., as good as you are, you were just outclassed. I say that respectfully because I got mad respect for Errol Spence Jr. Please, please.
Terence Crawford's dominant win over Errol Spence earned him massive respect across the boxing world, as beating a top-level champion so convincingly helped cement his legacy. But his recent comments have caused some fans and analysts to question his character, leading many to feel that while his skills in the ring are unquestionable, his sportsmanship has left a different impression.
Appreciate you just being a regular dude who's very, 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 very skilled at something. I'm glad you're getting your flowers, and I hope the biggest of bags come your way in these next few years with how things play out for you, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Because you earned,
bro.
You earned it, bro.
And you gave us, listen, entertainment. You know what I mean? From beginning to end, it was a real display. So we appreciate you taking time, bro.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me, man. I appreciate it.
Before we go, how soon will we get the rematch? Do you know that calendar? You know how that calendar is going to play out?
Probably, if it happened, it'd probably be the end of this year.
That's soon.
Yeah.
Like a December situation, probably, something like that?
Yeah.
There you
All
go.
right.
Terence Bud Crawford, the undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
Nice. Excitement for a rematch remains strong, with many fans believing that if Errol Spence moves up in weight and adds muscle, he could look much better in a second fight, as a possible bout at 160 pounds might change the dynamics and give him a chance to be stronger and more competitive.
I want to see Bud be great, but what better buffer to see if Bud's ready at 68 than the EJ rematch of 54 and 60? And how exciting would it be to watch Errol Spence he walks at 190. I'm 185 pounds right now. I'm 5'11". To think of me cutting, and I train, to think of me cutting 50 pounds ever is fucking crazy. To think that Errol Spence Jr. walks at 190 and fights at 47 is crazy. To now think that a rematch could happen at 60, god damn, what are we talking about? Then you get to see EJ loading up on that double jab of his. You get to see muscled up a little bit. He'll be a bit more durable. Then we get to see Bud's magistry, Bud's footwork. There's so many storylines. So I'll end it with this. I've ranted a bit too far. For all you those out there saying nobody wants to see this too, it's a whitewash, it won't be competitive.
Promoter Bob Arum suggested that Errol Spence may have been dealing with physical issues that played a role in his loss to Terence Crawford, while also praising Crawford's dominance by saying the result was not surprising, and adding that even if a rematch happened at a higher weight, he believes the outcome would likely be the same because Crawford's skill level is simply too high for Spence to overcome.
The victory. And the clue that I saw was that of all the fights, I think at 38 fights, of all those fights, he only fought 2 southpaws. So what is that telling you? It's telling you that he has trouble with southpaw, because to have only 2 out of 38 fights, it means that his people or himself have looked to avoid southpaws. Now, Terrence's big strength is that he fights equally well from either side. So instead of opening up as a right-hander, which he usually does, and then switching to southpaw, he only fought Spence as a southpaw, and Spence couldn't handle it, particularly when Crawford, who's ambidextrous, and now his right hand is his jab, is throwing it with force and hurting Spence. So once I saw Terence come out as a southpaw, in my mind, I thought, hey, the fight's over.
Were you surprised, though, by how dominant he was?
No, because Spence can't fight a lefty, and nobody even mentioned that. He can't fight a southpaw. If Crawford had fought him 5 or 6 rounds as an orthodox fighter, it would have been a different fight.
You know, given just the performance that he had and now the attention that he's getting and the recognition, how do you feel? What emotions come to mind seeing that, hey, he's finally getting his just due when so many years a lot of people try to dismiss him?
Well, I don't know if anybody dismissed him because of his ability. They dismissed him because of his drawing power or what have you. Terence was I consider Terence a great fighter before the Spence fight, and I consider him a great fighter after the fight. You know, and his dominance didn't surprise me. He is the full boat. Now, what will eventually catch up with him catches up with all of them, and that's father time. He is 35, going on 36. So at a particular point in time,
Former champion Sean Porter, who has faced Errol Spence in the ring, believes Spence has what it takes to win a rematch, saying that based on his first-hand experience, he feels Spence can make the right adjustments and return stronger. And while many people are counting Spence out, Porter remains confident that Spence still has the ability to defeat Terence Crawford.
And I basically was saying, I know his camp and I know him. A lot of pride, a lot of heart, but you have to understand that you're not going to win this fight. If there was an adjustment you were able to find, you would have found it sooner. You're battered up, and let's leave this night where it is and move forward and become stronger from this night. And I just thought that if it had continued, that it might take away some of the things he may be able to do in and out of the ring, because as the saying goes, you never leave the ring the same way you went in, and it truly is the case, unless of course you are Terence Bud Crawford, who had amazing defense and an amazing offensive showing on Fight Night, and you don't get hit, you know.
Yeah, now you know this firsthand because you fought both of these guys before. Your dad was your coach, so you had a strong relationship there. Now, if you were coaching Spence, would you have thrown in the towel for him? When would you have done that?
I do believe that I heard he asked Errol one time if he wanted to continue, and so I do know that at a small capacity, at the least, they contemplated throwing in the towel. And I think that Derrick James is smart enough to know, hey, something has to happen. I just think that they didn't want to go, for the sake of words, go out like that. And no one does, but realism has to play a major role, especially in the sport of boxing, because realism means if I haven't won more than 6 rounds at this point, I can't even get a draw. And then he had been knocked down already. You have to look at the realism, man. You're not going to win this fight unless you get a knockout. You haven't landed one clean shot or numerous clean shots the entire night. Is that punch going to land? And when you look at realism, it says, let go of the pride, stop this fight.
That wraps up today's video. So stay tuned and we'll see you in the next one.